Hey everybody, welcome to Morning Night Live. Let's get this day started right by first saying happy birthday to Necrosol Collins. Happy birthday, my friend. Thank you for being here. I see you in the chat. Hello. Let's get this thing started. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. And stop the music. Hopefully, now is there something? Well, we'll see. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with the stream here, but looks like it's working, so I'm gonna keep going. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Marty, aka Dawg Knight. And today we're gonna talk a little bit about the old trials and tribulations of the rich and famous and powerful and all that stuff. But we're also got to do some articles, and we're going to see what's happening on Twitter just like we do every day. But again, I want to say happy birthday to Necrosol Collins. I don't know. I'm not necessarily going to be the singing type. Well, someday maybe. I'll sing when I'm on the shows they sing, but I'm just going to wish you a good happy birthday. Also, I want to thank everyone for being here. Good morning. And Chicago Mike, yes, someone asked, does Chicago Mike get the bell? Yes, you do. You were the first one here. And good morning, Max Del Rio, Maddie, Ramen Noodles 78. Have you been, maybe I just haven't seen that. Did you change your name? Was it something else before? Because I haven't seen that name before. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Smarty Bear. Good morning, Rolling Bear. Check your logic. And MC, it's hammer time. Oh, and also Cynical Lindsay. Hello, everybody. And did I say hi to Max? Yes, I did say hi to Max. All right, man. Let's go. Let's talk a little bit about this Jeffrey Epstein thing. Now, yesterday when I heard this story, and everyone heard this story on Monday, I got this feeling, just this weird feeling that yes, they're gonna prosecute this guy, which is just it should have been done the first time, but as you know, he had a deal going on with the Department of Justice and the FBI because he was also a key witness or an asset concerning the Bear Stearns case. So he got this sweetheart deal and ended up, instead of getting prosecuted federally, got some kind of deal where the state prosecutor did the prosecution and whatnot, whatever. And that, okay, so we're trying to figure out, okay, who is this a shot across the bow to? Because Robert Mueller, the special counsel who's about to testify in front of Congress, was involved in that deal. Also, the Secretary of Labor, Andrew Acosta. What the hell is Acosta's first name? It's not Jim Acosta, that dude. The Secretary of Labor is, I believe it's Andrew Acosta. Anyway, and then also it was probably a shot at, now some people think it's a shot across the bow at President Trump, because President Trump has a picture out there of him with Jeffrey Epstein, and he rode on Jeffrey Epstein's plane one time. Some people may think it's a shot across the bow at Hillary Clinton because her husband took 26 different trips on the Lolita Express, Jeffrey Epstein's plane, to his Lolita Island, where he kept underage sex slaves and prostitutes, or whatever the hell you want to call them. So I'm just like, who is this gonna hurt the most? Alex, is it Alex Acosta or Andrew? Alexander Acosta, that's his name. So anyway, and then yesterday, now I wish I could find the tweets. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna just look. Let's go to Chuck Schumer. Both Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi took shots at President Trump yesterday. Not surprisingly. Now, let's see. The Hill, Chuck Schumer. I am calling on the Department of Justice's Office of Professional Responsibility to make public the results of its review of Acosta's handling of the Epstein case. Yep. Oh, here. And then he says President Donald Trump doesn't believe in free press. There's a danger. Okay, whatever. It's funny. Where's the one on? He wrote one on this. Basically, he took a shot at President Trump for something here. Let's see. It's all right. It's buried. It's long gone. I should have bookmarked it. Anyway, both he and Pelosi made tweets basically to the fact that the president needs to fire Acosta right now because the deal that was made way back when. Now, listen. Remember, Acosta is the Secretary of Labor. And he was approved. Who approves the Secretary of Labor? By the Senate. So let's see if let's see. Let's look this up. Secretary of Labor. Approval. Senate. Let's see if we can get that. Okay. Let's see. Alexander Acosta. Okay, here's a Wikipedia on him. You know what? I'll have y'all watch what I'm doing here. All right, so Renee Alexander Acosta, American attorney, academic, United States Secretary of Labor. Let's see here. Nomination and confirmation. Let's look at this. President Donald Trump announced in a press conference on February 16, 2017, that he would nominate Acosta to fill the position of the United States Secretary of Labor after the nomination of Andrew Pudzer was withdrawn. Acosta was recommended by White House counsel Don McGahn. Acosta is the first, and as of May 2019, the only Hispanic person to serve in Trump's cabinet. They're attacking a Hispanic brother? Interesting. Was nominated to Trump's cabinet April 4th, 2019, but not yet confirmed. Okay, let's see. Senate Committee on Health, Education, and Labor Pensions held confirmation hearings on March 22nd, 2017, and Acosta's nomination was reported out of committee on March 30th. 60-38 vote. He was confirmed as Secretary of Labor by a 60-38 vote. Received the support of 8 Democratic senators. They don't have a link there. Let's see if nope, that's just the United States Senate. And all Republican senators except Senator Pat Toomey, who did not participate in the vote. So he was nominated on a 60-38 vote, which is not quite party lines. 8 Democrat senators supported him. Okay, all right, interesting. But you know what? They knew all about this before. This is not something they knew. And again, I remind you from the article that we read yesterday. The deal was via. Now let's see. I think this was under George Bush's Department of Justice, and then approved later. During the Obama administration, they've never, said anything about the deal. But it was approved because of an FBI deal to be a key witness in the Bear Stearns case. Okay, that's what we learned yesterday. So now, and obviously the internet's hoping, at least the left side of the internet is hoping and praying that, just that somehow this is going to affect President Trump, okay? Now, Trump, let's see, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Let's get into the articles real quick. All right, so Trump yesterday, here, let's go to this article first. Trump will be looking very carefully at Acosta's role in Jeffrey Epstein's 2007 plea agreement. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday he'll be looking very carefully at the role that Labor Secretary Alexander Acosta played in a 2007 immunity deal for billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged this week with sex trafficking of underage girls. Acosta served as U.S. attorney in 2007 and oversaw a plea agreement that shielded him from federal prosecution for sexually abusing young girls, but allowed him to plead guilty to lesser state charges. Speaking to reporters before a bilateral meeting with the Emir of Qatar, Emir Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Trump was asked whether he had full confidence in Acosta right now and in the future. Well, I can't do a Trump voice. I wish I can't do a Trump voice. I don't want to go into that Alex Baldwin crap imitation. I'll just say, well, I can't do it. Well, I met Secretary Acosta the first time I know when I made the deal to bring him into the administration. I can tell you that for 2.5 years, he's been an excellent Secretary of Labor. He's done a fantastic job. Now part of it is our economy is good, so our unemployment numbers are at a record low. So, so many good things are happening, but the fact that he's been a very good Secretary of Labor, what happened 12 or 15 years ago with respect to when he was a U.S. attorney, I think in Miami? Is it Miami, the president asked? Yeah, Southern District of Florida, a reporter replied. If you go back and look at everybody else's decisions, whether it's a U.S. attorney or an assistant U.S. attorney or a judge or the FBI director, you go back 12 to 15 years ago or 20 years ago and look at their past decisions, I would think that you'd probably find that they wish they'd maybe did it a different way. I do hear that there were a lot of people involved in that decision. FBI Director Robert Mueller. And not just him. I can only say this. From what I know and what I do know is he's been a really great Secretary of Labor. The rest of it we'll have to look at. We'll have to look at it carefully. But you're talking about a long time ago, and again, it was a decision made, I think, not by him, but by a lot of people. So we're going to look at it very carefully. We'll look at, how he repeats himself all the time. Anyway, when asked whether the president still thinks Epstein is a terrific guy, something he said in 2002. Oh man, these reporters, man, it's funny. I'm sure, I'm going to wait till they have a press conference with Bill Clinton, or better yet, Hillary Clinton, and see what they think of Epstein and see what kind of questions they ask them. Remember, Trump. Yeah, in 2002, Trump called him a terrific guy, but said he something about him liking girls. Some of them seemed a little young, and it was not his style. But and then also one time he said something about worried about Bill Clinton probably having some trouble with that Jeffrey Epstein thing. Foreshadowing. Anyway, Trump said, "Well, I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him. I mean, people in Palm Beach knew him. He was a fixture in Palm Beach. I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan." Because, he said he was a terrific guy in 2002. So the reporter asked, what was that all about? I was not, a long time ago. I say maybe 15 years. I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you. I was not a fan of his. I feel very badly, actually, for Secretary Acosta because I've known him as being somebody that works hard and has done a great job. I feel badly for him, blah, blah, blah. That's a Trump answer. Okay, didn't really talk about it. But as you also know, or may already know, oops, I pushed the wrong button there. As you may already know, Epstein had his problems with the presidents before he was president, obviously. Let's see, do they have that one here? Oh, I don't have that story here. Let's see. Here we go. This is the one I wanted to do. If you're familiar with the author, James Patterson, who wrote a book called Filthy Rich, The Billionaire Sex Scandal, A Shocking and True Story of Jeffrey Epstein. So here in this book, he talked about Epstein's problems, and he was on Fox News talking about this story recently. He told Fox News Tuesday that then private citizen Donald Trump threw alleged pedophile Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago after he was notified about complaints made about Epstein. Patterson made the remarks, here, let me clear that off. Patterson made the remarks while appearing on The Daily Briefing with host Dana Perino. Epstein, 66, was arrested on Saturday on child trafficking charges and faces up to 45 years in prison if convicted. Trump was asked about Epstein, a billionaire who rubbed shoulders with celebrities and world leaders, while speaking to reporters on Tuesday. And that's the same question. But back to Patterson here. Perino asked Patterson about Trump's remark. President Trump said earlier that he had a falling out with Epstein about 15 years ago. Do you know what that was about? Patterson responded, well, I know that there were some complaints about Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, and I spoke to the head of the spa there. I said, did you ever meet Epstein? She said, oh, yes, he was inappropriate with some of the younger women there. She said she went to Trump, and he threw him out of the club. At another point in the interview, Patterson said he knows Trump didn't know about Epstein's alleged criminal activity. Investigative journalist Conchita Sarnoff told Fox News' Shannon Bream on Monday night that when former President Bill Clinton traveled on Epstein's private plane, that there were underage girls in the planes, and that he many times did not have his Secret Service detail with him. Okay, I don't know why. That's a weird way to end that article because it's not about Bill Clinton, but we'll talk about Bill Clinton too. Real quick, let's see. Hi, everybody. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Meanwhile, Google scrubbing pictures of Bill Clinton and Epstein. Max Del Rio. Yeah, that's interesting because I did a search on DuckDuckGo instead. And so if you do Epstein Clinton, and let's see, do the search there, and then now notice they don't have pictures of them together. Somehow someone's dumping all the Epstein Clinton pictures of them together, but there are lots of people who put pictures of them side by side, but not necessarily together. But Epstein has lots of people he's been connected with. Supposedly Prince Harry was on his island. I mean, there's a bunch of people that they're talking about. Yeah, Trump said he was a good guy in the early 2000s, so Trump had. Yeah, that great guy statement was from 2002. That's 5 years before Epstein got arrested. Or, 5 years before the first trial, before Epstein got convicted, before the sweetheart deal he got from the attorneys. Again, that quote is from, but no, they got to bring it up as if he said it yesterday. That's the whole joke about it. So anyway, we're gonna do more Epstein here. Hang on, let me click around a little bit. The other thing, we were talking about Bill Clinton, so let's get into Bill Clinton here. All right, and so Bill Clinton, frequent flyer on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. This is from the American Thinker. Former Speaker of this. Now I don't know why they started this way, but former Speaker of the California Assembly and San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown's former mistress. Obviously this is a how this is slanted. Senator and presidential wannabe Kamala Harris said over the 4th of July weekend that she knows a sexual predator when she sees one, and President Trump is a predator, as the Washington Examiner reported. Senator Kamala Harris labeled President Trump a predator during a campaign event Wednesday in Des Moines, Iowa. I know predators, and we have a predator living in the White House, the California Democrat stated. Certainly she does know predators, as I have documented on these pages, how Harris used her relationship with Brown to advance her career, and how she currently serves with one of the sexual predators par excellence, Senator Bob Menendez, who is the poster child for the double standard that insulates Democrats. Yeah, how the hell is Menendez still in the Senate? I don't get it. How is he still in the Senate? My God. The FBI found that Menendez and his political donors, Dr. Salman Melgen, had a, how should we say it, pay for play arrangement. Anyway, so yeah, that's Menendez. But let's get back to Clinton here. So this is a preference to the news that billionaire pedophile Clinton donor. Yeah, he's a huge Clinton donor. You know what? It's funny. So I look at a lot of these articles, and usually when they start talking about people who have political connections, you notice that like the first line in the house, line in the article usually has something to do with, especially if it's a Republican donor, major Republican donor so-and-so, or Republican Senator Ted Cruz, or, you always know it's a Republican. But then if it has anything to do with the Democrats, there's a moratorium on what their political their political ties are. And you got to remember too, I think in 2002, I think Donald Trump was still palling around with the Clintons. He was still basically a New York Democrat. He didn't really become a Republican until close to the end of the Bush administration and into the Obama administration. He was a big critic of President Obama, so that's why he decided to run as Republican. But remember, Donald Trump was palling around with the Clintons early in the early 2000s. He had the Clintons at his wedding. So anyway, billionaire. So yeah, here we're back. Billionaire pedophile Clinton donor and friend of Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, has been arrested on the charge of sex trafficking of minors. As the Daily Beast notes, billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein was arrested for. Okay, we already know this. Anyway, more powerful men may. I'm sorry. Maybe I will read this. Billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein was arrested for allegedly sex trafficking dozens of minors in New York and Florida between 2002 and 2005, and will appear in court in New York on Monday. Yes, they already happened, according to 3 law enforcement sources. Saturday's arrest by FBI NYPD Crimes Against Children Task Force comes about 12 years after the 66-year-old financier essentially got a slap on the wrist for allegedly molesting dozens of underage girls in Florida. In an era where Me Too has toppled powerful men, Epstein's name was largely absent from the national conversation until the Miami Herald published a 3-part series on how his wealth, power, and influence shielded him from federal prosecution. So there we go. Now, why do they? I wanted to get the part about. Okay, here we go. More powerful men, mainly Democrats, may be toppled. Perhaps none other than William Jefferson Clinton, according to Christine Pelosi, DNC official and daughter of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. As Fox News reports, Christine Pelosi, a Democratic National Committee official and daughter of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, warned conspicuously on Saturday evening that it is quite likely that some of our faves are implicated in the horrific sex trafficking case against politically connected financier Jeffrey Epstein. It was unclear exactly whom Pelosi was referring, but Epstein has long been connected with high-profile figures, including Britain's Prince Andrew and former President Bill Clinton. Court documents obtained by Fox News in 2016 showed that Clinton took at least 26 trips flying aboard Epstein's private jet known as the Lolita Express, and apparently ditched his Secret Service detail on some of the excursions. Now, the belated attempt by the left to cover its hypocrisy on sexual predators by throwing Bill and Hillary Clinton under the bus once they have no further political use for them is staggering. Like I said, also the other part I was talking about yesterday, how I thought that there was these, I don't know if it's rumors, but I hear a lot more buzz about the idea that Hillary Clinton could still get in the race. Hillary Clinton this, Hillary Clinton that. And as I said, this arrest and new prosecution of Epstein is also a shot across the bow at the Clintons. Okay, so I'm just saying. The belated attempt by the left to cover up its hypocrisy on sexual predators by throwing Bill and Hillary Clinton under the bus once they have no more further political use for them is staggering. They forget their mantra that his being serviced by Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office was personal and didn't matter as long as he was doing a good job as president. It was the GOP, that was waging a war on women. Republicans were predators, as serial accusers and so-called feminists. Lawyer Gloria Allred reminded us when she appeared with a box of tissue and victims to accuse GOP candidates Herman Cain, Donald Trump, Judge Roy Moore. She is not going to be found at press conferences with the victims of Senator Bob Menendez, Senator Al Franken, and Representative John Conyers. The right on the issues defense does not apply to Republicans like Moore, nor does the presumption of innocence. Democratic hypocrites rush to condemn Moore faster than you can say Anthony Weiner, Franken, Menendez, and Conyers are right on the issues, which may be why the course for their unseating is, to say the least, somewhat muted. Judge Moore has been accused of dallying with underage girls, which is a charge his accusers are mysteriously not bringing up against Bill Clinton, a frequent passenger on the jet of accused pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Clinton had a habit of ditching his Secret Service protection when flying with a child predator on his Lolita Express. So Fox News reported on Friday that records show Mr. Clinton declined Secret Service protection on at least 5 flights. The network investigation reveals Mr. Clinton flew on the Boeing 727 Lolita Express 26 times, more than doubling the previously reported 11 trips. Bill Clinton, associated with a man like Jeffrey Epstein, who everyone in New York, certainly within his inner circles, knew was a pedophile. Why would a former president associate with a man like that, said Conchita Sarnoff of the Washington, D.C. based nonprofit Alliance to Rescue Victims of Trafficking. Fox reported Miss Conchita also authored the book on Mr. Epstein titled Traffic King. Mr. Epstein was arrested in 2005 and signed a plea agreement in 2007 with the U.S. Attorney's Office, accepting a single charge of soliciting prostitution. Yeah, that's the thing. So they took these girls. They decided to lower the charges. They designated all these girls that he was involved with as prostitutes. Okay? Not that they were there on his island stuck there, or that they were, that he's having, not that they're underage, but they ended up classifying them all as prostitutes. He agreed on a 30-month sentence, registering as a Tier 1 sex offender with the U.S. Virgin Islands, and paid dozens of young girls under federal statute, providing for compensation to victims of child sexual abuse. A Clinton spokesman did not return the network's calls requesting comment. Martin Weinberg, Mr. Epstein's attorney, declined multiple inquiries into the flights. So, he had, Epstein, who counts among his pals, royal figures, heads of state, celebrities, and fellow billionaires. The thing is, I'm sorry, the FBI, after this arrest, had a warrant to search his different premises. They got multiple recordings and things. That it's just, there's people like Alan Dershowitz is getting caught up into it somehow. Although Dershowitz said something, made an interesting statement. He said something about, something to the effect of, you'll need evidence, and you're probably not going to find, you won't likely find any evidence about me. Meaning what? I am not so sure. But anyway, he's got, man, oh man, I don't know. All right, let's see here. Got one more on this. And then there's this last little question that I think is interesting. Question that must be asked. Was Epstein running honey traps and blackmailing the power elite? This is interesting. I gotta wonder because his island was known as Orgy Island. He's bringing all these people here. Now we've got recordings, and I don't know if they're, even in his plane. I mean, if things going on in his plane, are there recording devices in his plane? There's got to be something. Anyway, it strikes me as unlikely that Jeffrey Epstein's motive for allegedly inviting powerful figures from the U.S. and Europe aboard the Lolita Express on a trip to Orgy Island was mere fellowship, as if they were playing a round of golf together. My dominant hypothesis, this is from somebody named Tom Lifson, I'm not familiar with him, maybe I will say in the end. My dominant hypothesis is that he was video recording highly illegal and morally reprehensible rapes for use as blackmail material. Because no one knows, now they call him a financier. I don't know where his money's from. But anyway, hey, Dawg, hello. I don't know if hi, Johnny Hellcat. I didn't see you come in. There's a couple other new people here. It might have been insurance against serious prosecution for his indulging in his own perversion, which would explain why his punishment the first time he was prosecuted was laughably light. In June 2008, after Epstein pleaded guilty to a single state charge of soliciting prostitution from girls as young as 14, he was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Instead of being sent to state prison like the majority of sex offenders convicted in Florida, Epstein was housed in a private wing of the Palm Beach County Stockade. He was able to hire his own security detail and was allowed work release to his downtown office for up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. He served 13 months before being released for a year of probation. Yeah, again, this deal, I'm going to say it again. The deal was because he became a witness in another huge case at the time against the Wall Street firm Bear Stearns. Just a reminder, and in cooperation with the Department of Justice and the FBI. So there's more than just this Alexander Acosta that needs to answer some questions about this. Acosta may or may not need to be fired, but he did not make those decisions alone. And that was, we just read that interview from President Trump, who said the same thing. While on probation, he was allowed numerous trips on his corporate jet to his homes in Manhattan and the U.S. Virgin Islands. So yeah, that's ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So he made some deal or he got some dirt on somebody. But a man who made serious money on Wall Street might well appreciate the utility of being able to blackmail people into sharing secret information or rendering government decisions that favor him among the other possibilities. The sad truth is that in the course of my decades of academic and consulting work, I have come to believe that honey traps and blackmail are far more common than people realize. And it's not just Russian intelligence agencies, as depicted in the Red Sparrow trilogy, whose heroine was trained as a honey trap agent. It extends to all sorts of activities: salesmen hiring hookers for purchasing agents, lobbyists doing the same in state capitals, and all sorts of non-glamorous and non-cosmopolitan uses of the principle of getting compromising information on a target that constitutes the lower level of practice. Now, this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it almost seems plausible. Epstein knew something. Clearly, he knew something about Bear Stearns now, didn't he? He was a key witness in that Bear Stearns deal. Bear Stearns no longer exists, thanks to Jeffrey Epstein. The public rarely gets a glimpse of the corruption, and when they do, most often the scandal is contained. Remember Anna Chapman, the lovely Russian agent who allegedly plied Americans with her wiles in exchange for official secrets, but was caught? This real-life Red Sparrow was exchanged for Americans held by Russians in 2010 before she could spill any beans. I speculate that a number of her targets were in positions to get her out quickly. That's Anna Chapman right there. A fine young lady. Anyway, Back when Ralph Nader wrote his first book, Unsafe at Any Speed, criticizing the Chevrolet Corvair as an alleged safety hazard, General Motors hired a woman to lure him into a compromising situation. He turned it down and blew the whistle, forcing General Motors to publicly apologize to him and making him into a hero, although his book was BS. But anyway, the fact that GM was at the time the largest manufacturer in the United States implies that even the mighty and powerful, not just the weak, desperate, resorted to the tactic. Even as a consultant for decades, in the course of my work that sometimes affected very big decisions and also personal careers, I have been offered women just a few times, something that shocked me at first, not frequently, mind you, and never accepted. Yeah, right. But I was not making the decisions that would reward or punish people, only offering advice. So anyway, you got to wonder, what does Epstein have on people? And now that the tapes have been found, or the DVDs or the CDs or whatever the hell. Yeah, Maddie. Stern was more important than diddling kids and having them hold you, while you know what. The justice system has always been fucked and broken to all hell. Yeah, it has. It's unfathomable that they made this deal for Epstein. It blows my freaking mind. And again, it's being politicized very quickly. Obviously, Chuck and Nancy have already tweeted their little tweets. Now it's going to be interesting. It's being handled by the Southern District of New York, but clearly, the Justice Department has decided. The Southern District ain't moving without the Justice Department, and Bill Barr runs the Justice Department. So I think perhaps they know that Trump doesn't really have any significant ties to this. But if he did, then hey, same thing. It should happen. Anything bad that happens to anyone should happen to him if he does have actual ties to it. But so far, there's no evidence of that. I think the biggest fish in this particular ocean, clearly is former President Bill Clinton. So I don't know. Tweeted their little tweets. Yeah. Live stream offline. Uh-oh. That's not good. No. Wait. No. Anyone else having problems right now? Live stream offline. I don't know. It's still running on my end. I just checked it here. All right. Anyway, yeah, we would... If Trump had real issues with this, we'd know every single one by now because it would already been leaked by somebody in the Justice Department or the FBI, because right now the FBI is not happy with the president. Well, not the current FBI. I think there's plenty of there's plenty of anyway. All right, let's move on to something else real quick. First of all, environmentalism can kill you. Actually, this is kind of a sad story. English woman died after falling on a metal straw that went through her eye, impaled her brain. Inquest hears. A metal straw may be eco-friendly, but a coroner has warned of the potential dangers they pose after a woman in England died last year in a freak accident. Elena Struthers Gardner, 60, sustained a traumatic brain injury after falling while carrying a mason jar-style drinking glass that had a screw-top lid at her home in Dorset on November 22nd, an inquest heard on Monday. Struthers Gardner's death was ruled an accident, with a coroner's report noting that clearly great care should be taken when using metal straws. Oh, man. There is no give in to them at all. Assistant Coroner Brandon Allen said, according to The Sun, if someone does fall on one and it's pointing in the wrong direction, serious injury can occur. When Struthers Gardner's fell, officials said the 10-inch metal straw pierced through her eye and into her brain. That is very freaking frightening. Unreal. You know, I was out in, when I was on vacation out in California, there were a lot of places, especially in California, where I think they've outlawed plastic straws or whatever. So we always got these damn paper straws. Well, no, wait a minute. That's not true, because I had a shake at a what's this place called that everyone, In-N-Out Burger. I had a shake at an In-N-Out Burger, and they asked you if you wanted a straw. Was it a plastic straw or not? I don't know, but I got a lot of these paper straws, and paper straws suck. Paper straws fall apart so easily. God, what a pain in the ass they were. Now, a lot of places around here will ask you if you would like a straw before they give you one. I don't use straws normally anyway, except if I have a beverage in the car. But man, this poor lady trying to be all eco-friendly and dies with a plastic straw through the brain. Not good. I'm just saying, not freaking good. What was the other one I wanted to? Oh, there's two of them. One, so there's this big thing right now about the 2020 census. And so the president wants to put a question about citizenship on the 2020 census. And for whatever reason, the Democrats are just furious. And so went to the courts, and somehow the Supreme Court had something about, they said he couldn't do it, but you had to come back and give a reason that you want to do it. And so, of course, our House Speaker Nancy Pelosi got hyperbolic, as she tends to do, and decided that Trump wants citizenship question so he can make America white again. Oh my God, lady. Oh God, I get so tired of this stuff. It's what's the good word they use all the, it's exhausting. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat, California, accused President Donald Trump on Monday of having racist intentions by pushing for the inclusion of the citizenship question on the U.S. Census. The Supreme Court did not rule in their favor because they said the administration did not give sufficient evidence as to why the citizenship question should be there, so they kicked the can. And then the administration said, okay, we won't put it there, Pelosi said in a press conference. Then the president injected himself into this, but this is about keeping, Make America, that hat, Make America white again? God, she's a bitch. They want to make sure that certain people are counted. It's really disgraceful, and it's not what our founders had in mind. What? It's not what our founders had in mind, and it's not what we can decide who we are as a people. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Pelosi accused the president of putting a chilling effect so certain populations will not answer the form. They won't respond. And we say, don't give them that victory. You must respond because otherwise they win. It's interesting because I wish I could give you the questions from the 2010 census. Or not 2010, 2000 census. Let's look that up. 2000 census form. Damn it. Okay, let's see what comes up here. On DuckDuckGo, I don't use Google for my searches anymore for the most part. Okay, questionnaires 2000 and 1990. Okay, so these are the last two sends. Let's do the long form questionnaire. PDF. We'll open this up. Start here. Okay. Persons listed in your household. Okay, here you go. What is this person's ancestry or ethnic origin? Okay. Does this person speak a language other than English at home? Okay. How well does this person speak English? Give you some choices. Where was this person born? In the United States, outside of the United States. Print the name of foreign country or Puerto Rico or Guam, etc. Is this person a citizen of the United States? Oh my God. In the 2000 census, they asked if this person's a citizen of the United States. You racist sons of bitches. I'm sure Bill Clinton wanted to make America white again. Because he was president in 2000, right? Yeah, he was still president in 2000. Bill Clinton, well, of course, some people already know that Bill Clinton's a racist, but is this person a citizen of the United States? When did this person come to live in the United States? Oh my God, there's a question on the census of whether or not a person is a citizen of the United States. Now, someone was trying to tell me that question wasn't on the census in 2000. In fact, there was a Snopes article. Well, of course, Snopes, they're full of shit. But something in Snopes about the citizenship question wasn't on the census. Are you kidding me? This is a 2000 census. One of the first after the list of persons. It's question 5, 6, 7, 8. What question number is this? Question number 13. Is this person a citizen of the United States? Now let's go back to let's go back. Maybe Bill Clinton put that on there as just, maybe you just put it on there as, a one-time thing. So let's go to the 1990 census. 1990, 1990. 1990 census form. 1990 census, questions and instructions. Let's see, where's the PDF? Show me. Okay, nope. Okay, here we go. 1990. Sex, race, other race, age, year of birth. Is this person of Hispanic origin? 8. In what U.S. state or foreign country was this person born? Oh my God! Are we asking racist questions in the 1990 census? Number 9. Is this person a citizen of the United States? Oh my God! Oh my! How the hell? So it was on the census before. Now, so all of a sudden, that question is racist? To ask if you're a citizen? Why did they even have to justify it? Now, let's go to 2010, because apparently 2010 is the year that the Obama administration decided they were going to take the question off the census. Census 2010. Long form. Here we go. Explore the form. 2010 Census Bureau. And now this is, in 2010, they decided to make the census one of the shortest forms in history. Text-only version of the interactive form. Let's look at the... site can't be reached. Probably too many people fucking looking it up right now. Let's let's see. Get Flash. I have Flash. Shortest form is history. Let's see if I can find it somewhere else. Are you kidding me? They have that. They ask if you're a United States citizen on the census. Now here. Oh, now. So let's now let's look at fact check from NPR. This is the NPR fact check. Now we just went to the 1990 census form and the 2010 census form. Okay, it was on both those forms. Now let's read the fact check from NPR. Fact checked. Has citizenship been a standard census question? Now, it's funny. They're looking at a 1951. Let's read the article. Oh, updated March 28th at 12:30 p.m. After a what's the date of this article? This is March 27, 2018. So last year. There's this fact check question. After a controversial decision by the Department of Commerce to add a question about U.S. citizenship to the 2020 census, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee defended the move as nothing out of the ordinary. The claim. This is a question that's been included in every census since 1965. Now, clearly there was no census in 65, whatever. Said Tuesday, with the exception of 2010 when it was removed. Now, their short answer, this statement is inaccurate, incomplete, and misleading. Really? A quick history of the decennial survey makes that clear. The long answer. The census has been conducted every decade since 1790 to get a national head count used most critically to decide the distribution of congressional representation. At first, it was conducted by U.S. Marshals, but later surveys were sent to most American households, with census workers helping those who didn't promptly return their surveys. My mother, my birth mother, worked for the census for many, many years. The last time a citizenship question was among the census questions for all U.S. households was 1950. That form asked where each person was born, and in a follow-up asked if foreign-born is he naturalized. What? Wait, now maybe that's because I was looking at the long form questions. Interesting. Let's look at this. In 1960, there was no such question about citizenship, only about place of birth. Sanders mentioned the year 1965 on Tuesday, but the census only comes every 10 years, so it isn't clear what she's referring to, and the White House did not respond to a request for clarification. In 1970, the Census Bureau began sending around two questionnaires, a short-form questionnaire to gather basic population information, and long-form that asked detailed questions about everything from household income to plumbing. The short form went to most households in America. The long form was sent to a much smaller sample of households, 1 in 6. Most people didn't get it. Starting in 1970, questions about citizenship were included in the long-form questionnaire, but not the short form. So she told the truth. Oh my God. The claim, the short answer, the statement is inaccurate, incomplete, and misleading. Quick history, blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. My God. For instance, in 2000, those who received the long form were asked, is this person a citizen of the United States? The short form kept it simple. Name, relationship, age, Hispanic origin, race, marital status, and whether the house is owned or rented. Later, the census added the American Community Survey conducted every year, sent to 3.5 million households. It began being fully implemented in 2005. It was asked many of the same questions as the census long form surveys from 1970 to 2000, including the citizenship question. So they've been asking the citizenship question. Sanders said that in 2010, the citizenship question was removed. In fact, there was no long form that year. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. So yes. There was no citizenship question in the 2010 census. That is true. In fact, there was no long form that year. It had been replaced by the annual American Community Survey. Decennial census form just asked just 10 questions. The state of California has already sued to block the addition of a citizenship question to the 2020 census. And New York State's Attorney General has announced a plan for a multi-state lawsuit. The question, that happened. But it's like they said there had been a citizenship question. So since 65, Huckabee said, meaning the next census was it. Look, they added the citizenship question to the census in 1965 in time for the 1970 census. That's, oh my God. Just like they decided in 2007 to add a citizenship question to the census for 2020. And this is what they're fighting right now. Okay? Oh my gosh. It's unbelievable. So this, the fact checks can't just say, you know what, they're right about this, they're kind of not right about this. Nope, you got to say, oh no, it's misleading and this and that. When she's absolutely what she said was correct. Let's watch Snopes. Oh, they're fact checkers. They are fact checkers. This is from April 2018. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said the question about the citizenship was removed from the census forms in 2010. Was she correct? Let's see how Snopes treat this. Because, in fact, 2010 was the year that there were no questions about citizenship on the U.S. Census. We just went through the forms. But let's see how Snopes answered it. When did the United States Census stop asking about citizenship? In March 2018, a March 2018 announcement by the Trump administration that they plan to reinstate questions about citizenship on the 2020 census form prompted criticism from groups who said it might skew the results of the census by discouraging non-citizen immigrants from participating. Critics, such as California Attorney General Javier Becerra, said President Trump's constant vilification of immigrants and his administration's anti-immigrant policies were likely to make non-citizens afraid to fill out the forms at all. California was one of a dozen or more states filing lawsuits against the federal government to block the change. According to Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross, whose department oversees the Census Bureau, no evidence exists to support those objections. But an amicus brief signed by 4 former census directors argued otherwise. Wow! 4 former census directors who had questions about citizenship on the census, the census or whatever the plural of census is, oversaw are filing an amicus brief supporting the objections. Recent experience demonstrates lower participation in the census and increased suspicion of government collection of information in general. Particular anxiety exists among non-citizens. There would be little incentive for non-citizens to offer to the government their actual status. The result would be a reduced rate of response overall and increased inaccurate responses. Both would frustrate the actual express obligation of the Constitution imposes on the U.S. Census Bureau to obtain a count of the whole number of persons in order to apportion House of Representative seats among the states. Wait. Hold up. Maybe, just maybe. Do I have this wrong? All right, so wait a minute. So the purpose of the census is for apportionment, okay? So for congressional districts, blah, 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 blah. how many representatives your state's going to get, etc. Now, I'm curious because I honestly don't know the answer to this, but in regards to representatives in the government, aren't you concerned of apportionment for citizens of the United States, like citizens who are eligible to vote? I'm not sure, and I honestly don't know the answer to that question, because clearly you can have non-citizens living in your state legally for various reasons and whatnot. But when you're talking about obtain a count of the whole number of persons in order to apportion House of Representative seats among the states, your House of Representative seats are representing the citizens of the states who can vote for the House of Representatives. Non-citizens can't vote for the House of Representatives anyway. So if they answer the question or not, if you're not a citizen, I'm not sure how you count. And especially if you're here in the country illegally, why should a state get apportionment for their non-legal citizens who aren't supposed to be here anyway? So California and Texas and southern states that have if you're on the census I don't think people are here in the country illegally really want to file out a census form anyway, because they know they're here illegally anyway. So I'm not sure what it would frustrate non-citizens who are here legally. How is this going to affect them filling out the census? That's a genuine question. If you know the answer, please let me know. Yeah, census workers are made to take an oath that do not disclose the information obtained in the course of a survey to anyone. Right. I mean, my mother can't do that. She can't. The census can't. It's almost like it's also HIPAA for people who fill out a census. You can't disclose their information anyway. Law enforcement agencies aren't the ones who take the census. The Census Bureau does. Census workers do. It's literally just a count. They're not taking... Oh, my God. Anyway. The Commerce Secretary defended the collection of citizenship data on census forms as a long-standing historical practice. Okay, there's the words. I haven't even scrolled down in this Snopes article yet, but I guarantee those are the words... Those are the weasel words that they're going to get around. Long-standing historical practice because, from 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, 4 censuses in a row, they asked the citizenship question. I'm not sure if they did before that. I know that they asked whether you are a naturalized citizen in 1960, the article said. But before that, I'm not sure. So, long-standing historical practice are the words that they're going to parse on Snopes.com. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, during a 27 March 2018 press briefing, I see, echoed by White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders when she said, "Look, this is a question that's been included in every census since 1965, with the exception of 2010 when it was removed." Again, that removed work that that NPR parsed. So Snopes continues. But while it's true that U.S. Census forms routinely requested citizenship information in the past, consistently so, from 1890 through 1950. Okay. So that is consistent, the Census Bureau said. Sanders misstated the facts about more recent developments. See, that's why, it's funny because the Washington Post or somebody has been compiling a list of lies by the administration or by Trump. But this is how they come up with lies sometimes. Clearly what she said is true. From reading this, you could say it's true. misstated facts about more recent developments. Misstated. Interesting. The census is a decennial event, meaning it occurs every 10 years. There was a census in 1960 and one in 1970, for example. But there wasn't one in 1960. Yeah, duh. We know that. Everyone knows that. In 1965 is probably when they added or re-included the question for the 1970 census. It's unclear why Sanders cited that year as a reference point. Yes, it is unclear. That would be my guess, is when they decided to do that. It's misleading, moreover, to claim that the citizen question was removed from the census in 2010. As noted above, it was a standard question on the census forms through 1950. Then, for unexplained reasons, it was omitted in 1960 for everyone except residents of New York City and Puerto Rico. Beginning in 1970, continuing through 2000, the Census Bureau used two different questionnaires to gather information. A short form sent to more than 80% of American households, which did not inquire about citizenship, and a long form distributed to fewer than 20% of the American households, which did. The long form was discontinued after 2000, so in 2010, every household received the short form, sort of. Meaning, in effect, that no one was asked for citizenship data in that year's decennial census. But it wasn't because any questions were removed. Okay, so the question was no longer asked in 2010. I'm sorry, did I say that super loud? Oh, my God. My God, my God. Oh. Is anyone else buffering? Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm not paying. I haven't paid attention to chat as much as I could. My apologies. Where the hell is this stupid article? Strictly speaking, when the Trump administration isn't reinstating the citizenship question, they're calling for. Okay. Strictly speaking, then, the Trump administration isn't reinstating the citizenship question. They're calling for it to be added in the short form that will be mailed to every American household in 2020. It won't be the first time people are required to divulge their citizenship status on a U.S. Census form, but it will be the first time since 1950 that everyone is required to do so. Well, at least they didn't. Now, they didn't give a true or false on this one at all. Because they would have been ridiculed soundly. Yeah, so it's like it's so there are. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. So, strictly speaking, then the Trump administration isn't reinstating the citizenship question. Wait a minute. But in 1950, it was a question, so they are reinstating it. If you say it was from 1870 to 1950, it was on every census form, I would call that reinstating it or re-including it or whatever. Can you? Okay, so. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right. I really didn't mean to talk about that one so long. All right, let's see what's happening in the world because, you know me, I gotta get my Twitter fix on today. Let's see first I'm going to give me what the hell is right on top. What the hell's right on top? Let's see. Oh, yeah, Megan Rapinoe. Did you hear about this? The soccer player? Okay, let's listen to this because this is a short little clip on MSNBC. Now, Megan Rapinoe on how fans can support the fight for equal pay. This is fascinating because we've been talking about this. here's how you can support the fight for equal play. Listen to this. Hopefully, I can't even hear it myself because I don't have my headphones on. You're gonna have to take a listen to this. Let me put the earbuds in real quick. All right, now listen to this. This is funny.
In the moments immediately following the final whistle, you get that USA, USA chant, but equal pay along that same cadence. Yeah. I think fans want to know what they can do to support that fight.
Now, hold up. Now, listen to the answer to this question. Oh, yeah, Rip Torn died. I think he's probably trending on Twitter. Listen to this answer. Listen to her answer. This is amazing. Yes, my mic is supposed to look like the Death Star. I have my old, I have my blue Snowball here. It's the first mic I had when I first started doing recordings, and eventually I'm going to get some. I'm still looking to get new microphones, so to replace my old Blue Yeti. But I might try to get something a little. Well, I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. It's going to be a while before I can do that. Anyway. Listen to her answer, though. How fans can help with the fight for equal pay. Listen carefully.
Fans can come to games. Obviously, the national team games will be a hot ticket. But we have 9 teams in the NWSL. You can go to your league games. You can support that way. You can, buy players' jerseys. You can lend your support in that way. You can tell your friends about it. You can become season ticket holders. I think in terms of that, that's the easiest way for fans to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did y'all hear her answer? How can you help fight for equal? Well, we need to put more butts in seats, and you can buy season tickets. And in other words, her answer to get more pay is to get more fans. What does that, is that registering with y'all? The reason the men get paid more is because they get more fans in the seats, they get more fans watching, they get and they generate a revenue of $6 billion versus $131 billion. Okay, yes, the women already get more. They get 13% of their revenue, where the men get. Well, the men in South Africa, the men they have got 7% of the revenue as their compensation. The women's World Cup over the 4-year cycle made $131 million. The men's World Cup, just for the World Cup alone, made $6 billion in revenue. And it's just filled stadiums. You'd never see an empty seat in one of those stadiums. You never, a lot of some now they're getting to compare the women's World Cup team to like Major League Soccer in the United States, but Major League Soccer generates more money. That's why they're making they're comparing the women's league of I think there's 8 teams or 9 teams in the professional women's league to MLS soccer. Well, MLS soccer, those stadiums are packed. Okay, you're not filling half a stadium. It's like the difference between, and I'm a fan of the WNBA. I watch WNBA games, and probably because we had a 4-time world champion team here in Minnesota. And so I like going to WNBA games. Now, the skill level's not anywhere near the men's game, but that's okay. It's a great game. It's fun to watch. But you know what? You go to a Timberwolves game, and Timberwolves being a crappy team, they still have fans throughout the arena. They got fans up in the upper deck, whatever. In the WNBA games in Minnesota, they close the upper decks because they can't even fill the lower level. And it's not because they're a bad team. They're one of the best teams in WNBA. With their success, they've been growing. Their fan base has been growing. But a lot of it is they have to give a lot of tickets away still. During the playoffs now they pack the place, but just during the regular games, they're just not there. And it's not that it's a bad product. It's just, you know what? Sports fans, I mean, think about it. Sports fans want to spend their money in a way that maximizes their experience. Okay. Now, and I'm not taking anything away from the best women's teams playing teams, but if you're going to spend money on a sporting event, generally people want to spend it on the very best sporting events they can afford. So you're going to spend a lot of time, unless that you're really into that particular sporting event for women. So the WNBA teams have a very, very, very loyal fan base, but it is exponentially smaller than the NBA's fan base. And that's the same thing with soccer around the world. Again, I think they're like 110 million or 120 million people watch the Women's World Cup games, whereas the audience for the Men's World Cup game is over almost half the planet watches the Men's World Cup games. It's like 3 billion people watch the Men's World Cup game, or over the course of the World Cup. And so her answer here is absolutely right. People can support them by getting more people in the stands, telling your friends, buying their merchandise, and becoming season ticket holders. The more people that go see those games, the more interested sponsors are in those games. It's sports is an entertainment industry. The reason I don't make the same money as PewDiePie, even though we're doing the same thing, basically, I'm on the internet, he's on the internet. I make YouTube videos, he makes YouTube videos. But he has 110 million people watching him. I average about 30. Okay? I'm not going to make PewDiePie money. Am I being discriminated against for being a black man? Nope. He's probably exponentially more entertaining to me, to some certain crowd. I don't know. I've seen a few of his videos. He's kind of funny. He's a goofball. But hey, equal pay, baby, equal pay. No, it does not work that way. It's an entertainment industry. Does Meryl Streep make more money per movie than, I don't know, who's the boss chick? That's bitch. That bitches about everything. I don't know. I can't think of her name. Anyway, Meryl Streep's gonna put butts in seats because she's. Anyway, she's an acclaimed actress. All right. Let's see what else is on my. Let's check my. I'm gonna stay on my home page again. Oh, what is Matt Jarbo doing? Keep calm. An anime was a mistake. Oh, dude. Oh, you just. It's funny some of the things that Alyssa Milano. Yeah, who's gonna get paid more for a major motion picture? Meryl Streep or Alyssa Milano? Okay, is that pay discrimination? Or hang on a second. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done with that. All right. Let's see what else was on here. I was on homepage. I'm doing my Twitter homepage first. Oh, I got more notifications. All right. Oh, by the way, thank you, Smarty Bear, Dar, Necrosol, Collins, Sarah, all you people, Rolling Bear, who have been tweeting out my stuff and sharing. I really appreciate that, guys. I had someone yesterday. Let me tell you about my little Twitter argument. Okay, so you know that and it wasn't necessarily an argument. I told you about my question to Sophane, talking about the what was he talking about? What was it? Oh, the white supremacist guy, or they called him a white supremacist. He called him a white supremacist, not knowing anything about the guy's ideology. He just knows a white guy murdered a black kid for playing rap music too loud, and so known white supremacists. Okay, now we talked about the yesterday, and I don't bug Sophie about it. But some dude got on my Twitter feed and was taking shots at me. And I'm like, why are you taking... You don't know me. Why are you taking shots at me? He says... what did I do there? I didn't mean to do that. He says to me, why do you guys always have the same profile picture? What? So I'm like, what do you mean by you guys? And he's like, Dawg, how do you guys do that? And I'm like, wait a minute. One at a time. You guys... I'm curious what assumptions you're making by saying you guys. And so finally, after a couple days, he goes, and then he puts a picture of my Twitter profile picture up, where I'm just in my car in sunglasses, and I cut my wife out because it was when we were in New Orleans, and I put it up there. And I'm like, come on, you can figure this out. I'm like, no, I can't figure it out. Spell it out. And I'm like, this should be good. He didn't answer me yesterday. Or 2 days ago. And so yesterday, I'm like, I'm still waiting. And you guys... So then he goes, why don't you go back to begging 30 people for money on your sad YouTube channel? Laughing my ass off. I'm like, begging? Do I beg? Do I beg for donations? I really don't. I don't think so. However, the Morning Night Live is supported by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. You can support this channel by sharing, hitting the like button, or if you'd like to do super chats or donations. I do have a Streamlab link down below, but I don't spend a lot of time on that. I appreciate when you guys do donate to me, but I don't ask for donation. I'm not that entertaining. But man, some of you have been so kind, and I appreciate it. It's great incentive to keep going, but I'm keep going anyway. This is my 108th show. Okay. Anyway. So I go, so he says, something about begging 30 people for money on your sad YouTube channel, laughing my ass. I said, okay, whatever. Now about that you guys thing. So he says, here's his answer. Middle-aged man in sunglasses ranting in their car about how Starbucks hurt their feelings. Now I actually found that very funny because, first of all, I think I did some car videos a couple years ago, like where I had my phone in my car and I'm like, I got to rant, so I'm going to rant while I'm driving. I haven't done many of those. It's been 2 years. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done a video like that. But then I thought to myself, wait a minute, middle-aged. So I wrote, middle-aged? That's generous. But how would you know? Like they say, black don't crack. And so he was avoiding, hey, Captain Brambles, good to see you. And have a good day at work. Captain Bramble, hey, I'm like, is that what you were avoiding, dude? I was expecting something far more spicy than I can laugh at. Because a lot of times when I get on Twitter, and anytime I talk about race or anything that the topic has something to do with race, people look at my profile picture, but they don't look at it carefully. And me being kind of a light skinned guy, I'm racially ambiguous. If you only quick glance at my Twitter profile, and every once in a while, someone talks about how, maybe white men shouldn't be talking about that, or maybe you're a white supremacist, or something to that nature, and then I laugh my ass off because I'm like, dude, I'm black. So anyway, is he need a Graham Allen? I don't know who he is comparing me to. Maybe Jericho Green or somebody. I don't know. I don't do those. Anyway. And so I'm like, is that what you're avoiding? I was expecting something far more spicy that I could laugh about, which I should have said, which I could laugh at you about. But anyway. And then I said, damn, it's been a minute since I did one of them car videos. I should. Nah. Then he goes, so he says, taking this so seriously, middle age is 45 to 65. You might be the dumbest person on Twitter. Congrats. So I replied, bitch, I'm 71. And then I put, okay, not really, but that shit's funny to me. Damn, I didn't know these parameters were so strict. I just laugh because most people, if you look at me real quick, a lot of people, I have some people are, oh, wait, you're 55? I thought you were like 30 something. And then I have some people, occasionally someone's like, get me at my right age, and I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, is middle age? I'm old. Let's put it this way: I'm old enough to be a member of AARP. Okay, that's not middle aged. Oh my gosh. Anyway, hey, and honestly, I feel young. All right, man. All right, now. As you noticed, I'm going over my normal time because I'm starting late. I started late, and I'm going to end late today because I'm actually not going to my normal obligation today because I have to go to court today, but not for me. Some issues that my mother-in-law had that have nothing to do with her, but she's going to not appear in court. She's going to observe in court, and I'm going to go with her. So anyway, no, I'm not 80. I should have just hung that 71 up there and not said anything and not told him anything, just to fuck with him. But I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's see what's happening on Twitter today. Let's do the normal thing we do. We do check out what's happening in the world. Is there anything new happening? Is there anything that we're going to hear about later in the day that people are going to be talking about? And number one on Twitter today is the USWNT parade. Yes, New York City had a ticker tape parade for the women's soccer team that was victorious in the World Cup. And my all right, here we go. So I'm just doing a little glimpse of this parade of champions. Oh, is this live? Oh, I'll be damned. This is live right now. So there's Mayor Bill de Blasio handing out shit. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute this just because. Congratulations to world champions. They are regardless of the politics that have been flying around regarding this team and all the stuff with the flag on the ground and all that stuff. Regardless of what you think of them, it is a great accomplishment, and they have again brought home the trophy and the World Cup. Congratulations to the U.S. Women's National Team. I'm gonna stay away from anything that I really want to say about them. Although nothing terrible. Just I feel bad. Again, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I feel bad that rather than spending our time talking about the great accomplishments and their victory, and the fact that they have done this again for this is their fourth time since the Women's World Cup has been in existence, we should be talking about the win and celebrating their win. And instead, because of some things that one of the players said prior to this happening, it became about everything else except their win. It became about Trump. It became about equal pay. It became about this. It became about that. And it should just be savoring the victory. And right now, we're stepping on the victory. So hopefully, with the parade today and whatnot, that's all that gets talked about. Whether the president invites them to the White House, whether whatever their current lawsuit is. Can we have a day where we just savor the victory and are proud about the fact that this United States team brought home the World Cup? That's what I want to talk about concerning them on this day. All right, moving on. Number 2 on the Twitter trends is one of the day. It's the day trend, Wednesday Wisdom. And also followed up by Wednesday Motivation. Let's just do one of them. We'll do Wednesday Wisdom. At the top of Wednesday Wisdom, Janie Johnson. Is it true, Learjetter, Joe Gooding, Clinton did not have sex with that woman? I did not have sex with that woman, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Okay, that's cute, but I'm not really concerned about whether or not he had sex with that woman. But I am wondering if he had sex with those girls. Ugh, not a happy thing. Let's find a good Wednesday wisdom though, because I'm just saying, let's find something that we can really. Ooh, spotted off Martha's Vineyard. 20 to 30 feet, 5,000 pound. Oh, look at that. Is that a shark or a whale? What the hell? Wait, now what happened here? That's not what hell? Oh, where'd it go? Where the hell did it go? I spotted up. Oh man, I can't find it now. Okay, anyway, we're here for a Wednesday wisdom, right? We're here for a Wednesday wisdom. Aim like a Jedi, not like a stormtrooper. That's the bathroom wisdom on this Wednesday. Aim like a Jedi, not like a stormtrooper. That is funny. I want to find this thing off of Martha's Vineyard, though. That thing was huge. 20 to 30 feet. And all right. It ain't happening. Anyway, that's I like that Wednesday wisdom. Aim like a Jedi, not like a stormtrooper. All right, moving on. Number 4, Donnie has some. I don't know what this is. Oh, the Cricket World Cup. You know what? Any cricket fans in my audience? I couldn't tell you the rules of cricket. Cricket. Whoa! New Zealand beat India by 18 runs, though. Okay, maybe that's who Donnie is. Let's go on. India versus New Zealand. That has to do with the Cricket World Championship, trending on 5. So this is that's cool, though, that cricket's trending, I guess. Wednesday thoughts, we're going to skip. Powell is trending number 7. Jerome Powell signals openness to rate cut as uncertainty. Oh, interesting. That's a Fed chairman. The hell his name is Powell. Strange. Why does this keep doing this? Americans are not saving enough for their investments, but when rates go negative, all shall be well. Yeah, no. Powell remains concerned about the longer-term effects of high and rising federal debt, so he will lower rates to make even more debt issuance possible. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Trump, the economy has never been stronger and we need to lower rates. Powell, the economy is a disaster and we need to lower rates. Lowering rates, in a strong economy, that's actually when you raise the Fed rates, because you also want to raise. Let's put it this way. Yes, you can. Lower rates means you can borrow more money and whatever, but it means your savings investments. Well, your savings, not your investments. That doesn't necessarily affect your investment. But your savings also don't earn money. So, when the economy is struggling, yeah, you can lower rates and you can increase borrowing, but borrowing just puts more people in debt. Man, I don't know. If stocks keep falling, Powell will need to take a break for an emergency 100 basis point rate cut. No! S&P tops 3,000 for the first time ever. Stocks are not falling. Stocks jumped to record highs after testimony from Fed Chairman Jerome Powell bolstered their case for easier monetary policy. Oh, man. I'm going to read some articles on that and get back to it, but that just, oh, my God. My experience in finance, which I spent many years in, I just don't. In a booming economy, you do not need to lower rates. I have no idea why he's doing that. Casey Fry is trending number 8. I don't know who that is. Casey Frey. Sucks that Casey Frey got hacked, but something this tweet took me out. Bitches be about, huh? I have no idea who Casey Frey is. Casey Frey and Jake Gyllenhaal isn't the same person. Saw Casey Frey trending today. Good thing he got it. Anyone know who Casey Frey is? I don't even know who that is. Casey Frey got hacked by some edgelord who's trying way too hard to be offensive. It's kind of pathetic. Okay, I don't know who Casey Frey is. Did he do something? Anyone know? Anyone know? I'm in the category of don't care. Switch Pro, that's a gaming thing. What's going on with the Switch Pro? Anyone use a Switch? Switch Pro will be a TV. Switch Mini won't connect to a TV. Switch Pro will be a TV. I've been cackling at this customer question for a Switch Pro controller like 15 minutes. Okay, something about the Switch Pro. I don't know. I wish I'm not into the Nintendo gaming platforms. We had a GameCube when the kids were small, and we had a Wii, but I don't like any of those products. It just doesn't do anything for me. D-pad number, whatever that number that was. Yeah, that's okay. More on that's what has to do with the Nintendo. Carlos Cordero. Are we going to be talking about Carlos Cordero? Well, let's find out what the hell this is about. Okay, the equal pay chant breaks out as United States Soccer Federation President Carlos Cordero speaks on stage at the ceremony honoring the U.S. women's soccer team. Again, that's actually kind of funny, but I hate to break it to you.
To our women's national team, and we're committed to doing right by you.
Well, unless FIFA decides that they're going to throw a ton of money at the women that they didn't make, maybe take it out of the men's draw. I don't know what he means by doing right by you. I just don't know.
And that is why over the years, from our development programs to our youth national teams, to our professional leagues, the NWSL, to our women's national team, U.S. Soccer has invested more in women's soccer than any country in the world.
Which they have.
And we will continue to invest.
You'll never have equal pay until you have equal revenues, ladies. This is sad.
We will continue to invest more in women's soccer than any country in the world, and we will continue to encourage others, including our friends at FIFA, to do the same. We believe at U.S. Soccer that all female athletes deserve fair and equitable pay.
Which they do. They make more than the men as a percentage. Oh, man, it's funny. Alex Morgan's reaction to equal pay chance. Her face there. Yeah, you know what? And I understand. I get it. You know what? They're 4-time world champions, and not as many people want to see them. That's got to be frustrating. It's got to be frustrating. Again, let's compare the numbers. 131 million versus 6 billion with a B. The men generate 45 times more revenue. Are they paid 45 times more than the women? No. And in fact, are the U.S. women going to make more than the men this year if the men don't qualify? Yes. Do the stadiums sell out for the men's games? For the most part, yes. Do the stadiums fill out for the women's games? No. It's not about... They are as fair as they can be. The fact that the women make a higher percentage of the revenues is proof of that. Again, who makes more? Meryl Streep for a movie or Alyssa Milano for a movie? It's I know it's frustrating for them, but that's it. You know what? Get butts and seats. Just like Megan Rapinoe said, you got to have butts and seats to support their pay. So, moving on. Okay, that actually is kind of funny that they did that to him, but what are you gonna do? And trending number 12, Kim Darroch. I don't know who that is. The U.S. ambassador. Oh, the UK's ambassador to the U.S. has quit amid a row with President Trump, hounded out of office for telling the truth. This is just okay. This is someone from. This is David Lammy from. If any of you watch Irate Bear, Alex, or any of his streams, go on one of his streams and in the chat, ask Alex, what does he think of David Lammy? Write that name down, David Lammy. Ask Irate Bear what he thinks of David Lammy. All right. Hounded out of office for telling the truth. This is a disgraceful example of what taking back control truly looks like, pandering to bigoted foreign leaders and letting them dictate the fate of UK ambassadors. Sir Kim Darroch resigns as UK ambassador to the US. Now let's check out the BBC reading of this. Because Trump's been very critical of the US ambassador to the UK, or UK ambassador to the US. I imagine it has something to do with a former British spy, but I'm not sure. Theresa May said Sir Kim's departure was a matter of deep regret after the ambassador said it was impossible for him to continue. Meanwhile, one minister said Boris Johnson had thrown Sir Kim under the bus by not fully supporting him. President Trump said on Monday that the U.S. would not deal with Sir Kim. The U.S. president has branded him a very stupid guy after emails emerged where the ambassador had called his administration clumsy and inept. Well, interesting that the ambassador, if this stuff leaked, is that the proper way for an ambassador to speak about the country he is at? So if the president didn't like those words, which, our president will let you know immediately whether or not he likes what you're saying. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that someone allowed that to leak. In a letter to the Foreign Office, Sir Kim said he wanted to end speculation about his position. The current situation is making it impossible for me to carry out my role as I would like. Although my posting is not due until the end of this year, I believe in the current circumstances, the responsible course is to allow the appointment of a new ambassador. The leak was described as malicious by the head of the diplomatic service, Sir Simon MacDonald, who told Sir Kim, "You are the best of us." The leak was malicious. Who leaked it? That's a good... Okay, so now it was malicious. Malicious according to who? He told the Commons Foreign Affairs Committee it was the first time in his career that a head of state had refused to work with a British ambassador. Mrs. May and Sir Kim said Sir Kim had the full backing of the cabinet and he was owed enormous gratitude for his lifetime service to the UK. Public service should give full and frank advice, she said, adding that it was important to defend our values and principles, particularly when they are under pressure. His resignation was prompted by widespread support for Kim, while some have questioned Tory frontrunner Boris Johnson's stance. All right, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but so anyway, that's the UK version. Now I'm sure our own newspapers are probably excoriating the president too, but you know what? Can't do anything about that. They're not fans. Small but significant detail: Kim Darroch went to grammar school and grew up in a council house, meaning public housing. Those who accused him of elitist bias, Boris, Piers Morgan, Steve Hilton, and other demagogues, went to expensive private schools. How stupid has Britain become? Well, that's impressive. He got to his place by upward mobility, which is unusual in the UK. If once you're in a certain class, you tend to be stuck in that certain class in the UK. So that's interesting that he grew up in a council house. I am made disgusted and despairing by the resignation of Kim Darroch. What message does this send to our best civil servants trying to do a job on behalf of our country? What message does it send to foreign bullies and domestic shit stirrers, which has the support of our next PM? So they're not happy over there. Let's see, Jake Tapper, Kim Darroch, UK ambassador to US resigns after Trump cable leaks. I'm curious what the source of the leak is, though. That's what I'm wondering. Let's look at the CNN article. Britain's ambassador to the United States, Kim Darroch, resigned after a series of leaked diplomatic cables revealed he had...
British Prime Minister Theresa May answering questions in Parliament right now.
Okay. After a series of leaked diplomatic cables revealed that he had told 10 Downing Street that the Trump administration was inept and clumsy. The resignation announced by the UK Foreign Office on Wednesday came after US President Donald Trump said Monday that the White House would no longer deal with Darroch. The ambassador made his decision to step down after seeing that Boris Johnson, the current frontrunner to replace Theresa May as British Prime Minister, had refused to support him during Tuesday night's leadership debate, a British government official confirmed to CNN. Well, if you leak emails where you're insulting the country that you are the ambassador of, I'm not sure that is out of bounds, just curious. CNN has reached out to sources close to Darroch for comment, but has not had a response. Foreign Office Minister Alan Duncan told the BBC on Wednesday that Johnson had thrown the foreign ambassador under the bus by refusing to back him. Boris Johnson and Jeremy Hunt participated in a conservative leadership televised debate on Wednesday night. All right, so really nothing new here. The resignation accepted with regret by Theresa May, and pretty much the same quotes as the BBC article. But here we go. Trump's Twitter attack on Darroch. In a series of tweets on Tuesday, Trump branded Darroch a wacky and very stupid guy. The wacky. Now this is classic Trump, where this is the part where I criticize the president. Yes, this guy had some things leaked that were very disparaging, whatnot, but how about just, we do not appreciate, it's obviously Trump's style, and I'm not, policies, like, style, I don't know. The wacky ambassador that the UK foisted upon the United States is not someone we are thrilled with, a very stupid guy. He should speak to his country and Prime Minister May about their failed Brexit negotiations and not be upset with my criticism of how badly it was handled. I told Theresa May how to do that deal, but she went on her own foolish way and was unable to get it done. A disaster. I don't know the ambassador, but have been told he's a pompous fool. Tell him the USA now has the best economy and military anywhere in the world by far. Okay, that's... Oh, Mr. President. This is... every time I'm going to plug my ears or that's one of the reasons I don't follow the president on Twitter. I'm going to hear everything he tweets anyway. I guess I don't have to. That way I don't have to look for him. All I have to do is go on trends, see what's trending. Something there is going to be about Trump. It's going to be on every newscast because the newscasters can't. I guess the best thing about Trump's Twitter is that you know exactly what the president is thinking because he does not hold back. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But anyway, Kim Darroch, that's why he's trending. Now that I know who he is, we'll see if there's anyone else interesting down here. Crystal, what the hell is that? Let's U.S. News, several Puerto Rico government officials arrested, local media reports. Now, this is This is interesting. Federal authorities have arrested several Puerto Rican government officials, as reported by local media. What the hell? Former Director of Health Insurance Administration Angela Avila and former Secretary of Education Julie Keeler are among officials arrested by authorities Wednesday. Why were they arrested? Let's see here. And it reports they're going to be arresting others today. Federal agents. Okay, that's the same one. Here, let's see. Oh, no, that's in Spanish. I got to find one in English here. Sorry, guys. They arrested Fernando Schur, partner of the accounting consulting firm. Okay. They're arresting people. Oh, this is from July 10th. That's today. Let's see. Puerto Rico's former Secretary of Education, the former Executive Director of the island's Administration de Seguros de Salud, and the president of the accounting firm BDO Puerto Rico were all arrested this AM, local media reporting. Let's read this thread. It's in English. In a statement after the arrest, Puerto Rico Governor Ricardo Rossello says our administration will not tolerate corruption, and anyone who fails that trust must pay with the full weight of the law. I reiterate the call for collaboration with law and order agencies. Governor Rossello will return to the island sooner than expected, saying in a statement that recognized the importance and significance of the arrests that have taken place today, as well as their impact on the government, I've decided to return immediately. Okay, they stole money. That's a guess, though. I want actual reasons why they were arrested, though. Dawg Knight is a racist confirmed. Oh, well, thanks. Oh, it doesn't tell you. Gosh darn it! I want to know. Why these people are. Okay, here. Let's see. We'll scroll down. Pretends to be shocked. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. Okay, this person. Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right, Miss Julia Keeler, a white woman from Pennsylvania and a member of the Republican Party that was brought as the savior of the Puerto Rican school system. Sounds to me like Whitefish Energy, you remember? Oh, really? Is that what it is? Huh. Whatever. Former education head of PR has been arrested this morning on corruption charges, a huge hit taken by the Rossello administration. These folks come to earn hundreds of thousands of dollars per year and still embezzle funds. So apparently this might be an embezzlement issue. It's not fully known. I still can't get it. Okay, here, Edweek. Charges of fraud. Yeah, everyone's quick. Now, see, remember we talked about this earlier? So all these articles about Jeffrey Epstein. Have you seen an article that has mentioned Jeffrey Epstein as a Democrat? Have you seen one? But these people on Twitter, Julie Keeler, a Republican from Pennsylvania, who was appointed by Puerto Rico's Secretary of Education, arrested this morning by the FBI. Who's this Alexandra Halaby? What does she do? Oh, well, she's Democratic Political Communications and Media Training. Okay. Forum for Human Rights. Former Secretary of Education, Puerto Rico. Gosh, it's all... Okay, she's not their top K-12 official. Oh, here we go. They handed out the indictments. Let's see what this says. Oh, that's just a page. All right. District Attorney Rosella Amelia Rodriguez Velez says that Julia Keeler and Angela Avila took advantage of their positions of power to commit fraud. 11 of the 32 counts charged against them happened in the Department of Education. Charges 2 through 11 were electronic fraud with the Department of Education, the creation of false proposals. BDO, that's the accounting firm, used Pinol's influence over Keeler to obtain contracts that amassed $13 million. BDO used federal funds to pay Velázquez Pinol's commissions. The representative of the Inspector General's office is about to speak. Jose Luis Soto Santiago, subdirector of the Inspector General's office, says that this is a warning to private companies that accept federal funds that this behavior is unacceptable. R. Amelia says that those referred to as Person B and Person D shall remain unnamed at the moment. Person B is referred to as the campaign manager for the 2016 elections. A journalist asked if Elias Sanchez, Rosello's campaign manager, Rosa Amelia, said they can't be named. Oh, that's Rosello is the governor. Rosa Amelia says that conspiracy can lead up to 5 years in prison, while money laundering is up to 20 years. Okay, so that's kind of I'm getting the gist of it from this thread. So it's corruption and fraud charges. Interesting. I thought I was wondering if it had anything to do with the rebuild. So, but it's trending on Twitter for the wascally wabbits. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Crystal, I don't know what Crystal is. Is that something, Crystal? You should be thanking Crystal for contributing to podcasting being an arena Black people could thrive in. Without her, your sole hobby would be beating women. What? Give credit. Okay, this is replying to Joe Budden. What did Joe Budden say? What did Joe Budden do? Y'all know who Joe Budden is? Joe Budden's one of the biggest Black podcasts and radio personalities. But he's the dude one of the original dudes that was questioning the Jussie Smollett story. And he held nothing back. He held nothing back. Let's see. Okay, so Joe Budden apparently said something to this person. Laugh my ass off. All I know about how Budden's bitch ass is steam pressed over me and our show. They ought to be glad I paved the way for him. Oh, so Crystals is Jeremy Baramy or something like that, who must have had a podcast before. And Joe Budden says, your show died long ago and you're in a bunch of bad deals because your business acumen is in the trash. But I guess cook, sis. I don't know what any of that means. Crystal, okay. All right, whatever. It's a beef about radio that probably happened on Black Twitter, but the memes are entertaining. Crystal versus Joe would be nothing short of epic. Joe usually only spars with people who he believes he's smarter than. But Crystal, my God, I don't know Crystal. I don't know. Jeremy Baramy. I will fight Joe Budden for Crystal. Anyway, so it's basically some Black Twitter beef. So we're gonna move on. Dan Heath here. Anything? Who the hell is Dan Heath? How the audience reacted to Dan Heath saying, "The dirty secret in higher education is that their teachers are not taught how to teach." Oh, how do we get teachers and administration to trip over the truth? Dan Heath. How much? Dan Heath asking, how much of your current syllabus will advance your students toward the dreams you have for them? I don't know who Dan Heath is. There's InstCon, InstructorCon or Instructoracon. Okay, I don't know who this Dan Heath is, but he is doing the keynote address at InstructorCon, talking about teaching, and He's asking some poignant questions. Messing with the teachers again. Joe Budden's a black podcaster. Well, yeah, isn't he? He's a radio show host or something like that. I thought so. I don't know. I know I've watched some of his stuff. He has a huge podcast. I think he does radio show too. Okay, and the last one is Joy-Cons, which has to do with the Switch, which, again, I don't like Nintendo products. Sorry for those of you who like Nintendo products. So anyway, that's the Twitter trends for today. I'm way over time today. Man, I went a long time today. You know what? I'm sorry. I creeped into Blind Press's time. So I'm gonna call it a day today. Since I got to be in court in about an hour and a half. But thank you all for who's hung around for this long. I am so happy that you were here. Hey, we're going to do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow is FTG Thursday.